Hi there. For the 718th time, we present Camaro versus Mustang.
We also have independent rear suspension. Finally, across all models, no longer just confined to the occasional SVT that they would do now and again. And, well, how does it all come together? Would it be disappointing to say that this drove like a Mustang, like we remembered it to be? I don't know, and that's kind of what I'm juggling with, because this reminds me a lot of what I remembered Mustangs driving like. When you start really pushing the car, when you throw it into a corner, when you use the brakes and the gas, you feel the body pitch and roll in a way that's entertaining and very Mustang-like, but in a way that kind of makes you think, well, might have been hoping for a little bit more. I like sitting in this Mustang more. I like the outward visibility more. I like the size of this car more. I like the interior more. The steering in this car does feel quite good. The way you get around a turn, jump on the throttle, and the front end just sort of leaps up and takes you to the next, that can be really engaging. I just think the Camaro might be slightly better controlled when you're getting in and coming out. It doesn't move around as much. Because as nice as this is, as modern as this feels, I'm not having as much fun as I am in the Camaro. Let's just make this a comparison of performance packs, because that's what both these cars have. And for starters, this 1LE package is about $1,000 more than the GT Performance Pack. $3,500 versus $2,500, thereabouts. What if I told you that this Performance Pack makes this car drive better than the GT's Performance Pack makes that car drive? This is a more fun car, ultimately, for so many reasons, despite the fact that it's bigger and despite the fact that it's heavier. For starters, the shifter, steering wheel are nicer to the touch because they have GM's microfiber suede-like material on them. This engine sounds louder, and it's got that really nice, deep baritone roar. I like how the Mustang's engine revs out and how the power builds, but this just hits you solidly and doesn't relent until you upshift or until you lift.
Which of these two is going to be better? It's going to be faster on the track.
It seems like it goes back and forth. Sometimes the Camaro turns out to be better. Sometimes the Mustang is better. Every Camaro we do, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I just look forward to driving them and seeing what we got.
Well, as I'm fond of saying, there's only one way to find out, and now it's time for Randy's Laps.
Going through the gears in the Mustang GT Track Pack, comparing it with the Camaro 1LE, the Mustang has got low gearing. It rips through the gears. Love the acceleration. I think it's faster than the Camaro in a straight line. Under braking, wow, it's got the nosedive. Just like the Mustangs before the Boss. Not putting power down very well, but at least it's controllable. There's that nosedive. And we got all this sliding. Look at that. I can just drive it sideways like a drifter, but at least it's controllable. Less roll in turn one, and boy, does it put the power down. A lot of tire grip. The Camaro's got a much stickier tire for standard equipment. Doesn't pull as hard. I mean, it's a strong engine. The Camaro's carrying a little more weight, and you can feel it under acceleration, magnified by the tall gearing. The Camaro is a very planted car, really stuck. It's not sliding around a lot. Easy to drive. Notice I'm using one hand. Into the bull, I can just put my foot right to the floor and gesture. So what we've got is a really planted chassis here, as opposed to the Mustang, which is rolling and pitching and bouncing. The Mustang has a lot of brake dive. The Camaro does not have much brake dive at all, and the Camaro stops faster. It's really a very comfortable car on the racetrack. I'm not having to work hard at all. In a long sweeper, the balance is good. It's the best balanced Camaro I've driven, and out of any of the models. They just keep getting better. Across the finish line in third gear, it's a better handling car than the Mustang.
The funny thing is the Mustang is not exactly a small car either, but after that Z28, this thing feels like you're driving a GTI or something. It feels tiny. You can feel how much newer the Mustang is than the Z28 through its steering wheel, because Ford has had multiple generations of electric power steering. This thing not only feels like hydraulic in its weighting, but actually tells you what the front wheels are doing. I feel surface changes, I feel camber changes, I feel my heart being ripped out from this engine. This thing changes direction like pretty much nothing this size. And I don't know what does it. Maybe it's the carbon fiber wheels. This is the first real production car application of full actual carbon fiber wheels. And eliminating all of that rotating mass pays huge dividends in responses and the way a car handles. The other big difference between this and the Z28 is that all of the controls feel really light and tactile. Everything in the Z28 feels like it's a little bit too damped and too heavy. This car, the steering is lighter, the clutch is lighter, the brake pedal's lighter, and the brakes react more quickly. And the engine actually revs up more quickly. And that, of course, is the benefit of having a flat plane V8. They respond quickly to blips of the throttle, so I can just blip the throttle and it goes. We're not talking Ferrari levels of blipability, let's say, but this is certainly better than that big V8 in the Z28. It's pretty clear the Shelby GT350R is the far better car on the road. Every time I get in the Z28, I'm a little bit scared of it. I have to be honest. It's just wide and big and heavy and, let's be honest, ridiculously capable.
Yeah, it's our best driver's car for 2014, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to fault when a car this big does this around a track.
It has those enormous Pirelli Trofeo tires, 305s all around.
And now the GT350Rs are bigger.
No kidding.
Bigger, 315s instead of 305s.
The beat goes on. Yep. Bigger and better.
You know what else is bigger and better? This motor.
I hate to ask.
This motor.
It
this
is.
motor is delicious.
It's 7-liter V8.
7 liters. That's 1.85 gallons. Don't look at me like I'm trying to kill you. Right on the side of this, it should say 1.85 gallons.
That's a lot.
You're not even noticing. He doesn't even react.
Admirable car control skills. You do have to be a little careful with the throttle, especially the initial.
The initial
Just a
throttle.
little, yeah.
Right. No matter how smoothly I roll into the throttle, and I'm not a smooth driver, it always initially wants to rotate out first, and then it's fine. It sticks there. I would love for this car to tolerate throttle application.
This is probably the most childish thing you can do in a car, which is why Johnny loves it. And you know what? He's pretty good at it, and so is the Mustang. Again, the serious test numbers say it trails the Camaro, but by pony car rules, it keeps on hitting the bullseye. This thing flies, it sounds awesome, and it does epic burnouts. Maybe we should call it now for the Ford.
Mr. Bovington.
Yes.
So, your first time behind the wheel, really, on the road of a 6th gen Camaro?
It is. And I have to say,
Yeah?
I like what I'm feeling. It's one of those cars. I jumped in it, and within one gear shift, basically, I was like, it feels right.
Well, it's funny how you can kind of suss that out. Like, I remember also the GT350R, like one corner, I was like, this is about as good as cars get. Porsche GT3, like,
Yeah, all those good cars.
Yeah. And this, I remember the first time I drove this was a best driver's car a couple years ago, where it finished a respectable 4th place. But I remember figure 8ing it, and I was like, oh, this is a special thing.
It's an impressive car, and I think what I like about it is it's not ruled by technology. I think some of the European manufacturers are starting to rely so heavily on the tech, or concentrate so heavily on it, they're forgetting what a driver actually wants in the first place.
Well
this
said.
car, it uses the tech to empower me to do what I want to do and to enjoy this car. And that's such a cool thing to do.
Yeah, and again, if you look at it on paper, right, it's a push rod V8. For some reason, people have a problem with push rods. But I think anyone who has a problem with push rods hasn't driven this engine. Yeah.
As we feared, the Mustang is no match for the 1LE on track. In fact, the Camaro is outrageously fast and only beaten by the real elite, GTR Nismo, 911 Turbo, Corvette Z06.
$2,500 cheaper than the Shelby, so you can just go ahead and apply that cash to your speeding ticket. Good point. However, that straight line stuff is stupid and no one cares about it. In fact, there is one thing and one thing only the buyers of this car care about.
How loud they are.
Okay.
I have here a decibelmeter. Actually, it's an iPhone, but it has a decibel meter on it.
Right.
And the cars need to drive by at 60 miles an hour at full throttle, and it'll tell me which one's louder.
Well, I think our ears can tell us which one's louder, but it's more important, I believe, it's which one sounds better. You have your little toy, I have mine. This is Ben, the silent sound guy. And Ben is going to listen to each car go by and let us know which one sounds better.
Okay. Okay, you can come through whenever you're ready. You ready? $104.6 decibels. Did you like it? 104.6 decibels. This is what he does. You want to get the Mustang? So, like, can you speak or can you make sounds? Like if I tickle you? Ooh, angry sound, man. All right, Johnny, you want to come through? $110.4 decibels, and he's smiling. We have a winner.